All right, that is the start of the game. I don't know if I'm going to play two today. I might just play one. So we will see about that. Just the regular one, I guess. Automatic tuck, that's fine. Okay, gets me the free here. I feel like this is just better. I feel like this is better for white. That's a really interesting move. That's I don't know if he I don't really know if he misplayed that or what, but that's a really interesting move. It's definitely not a good move. Like you see this territory here, it's way too flattened. That's a really weird answer because this is actually in the future this is also Sente, so I find that just really odd. Definitely not my preference. Most definitely not my preference. Once again, I do believe the one jump is better than the two jump by a significant amount. I guess this is okay because he has that jump now. It's not that great. There are plenty of ways to actually invade this. Yeah, that's just not something I think is that good. I'm actually going to go up here and take away this territory. That's awful. Oh wait, that was the wrong Atari, but whatever, it doesn't matter. There's like all sorts of problems here now, so it's also, that's a really bad move as well. Yeah, giving me these three is not really is too damaging, and this sequence here is just really damaging for him. I personally don't think this invasion was that great, and I would definitely handle it a different way. Now you give me free reign to attack these stones here. I'm going to use this chance to solidify this bottom as well. Because now, oh, I do believe like, I do actually believe that this is actually a Sente move now. And I'm going to actually take this first. Then I'm going to just randomly come up here. Solidify all this territory first. And basically get, that's not a good move. Get way ahead in terms of like territory. No, you should definitely play. This might actually kill him. You should definitely play J13 instead of this, because this lets me get the entire thing all covered. See, like, this basically gives you no way out, and I don't have any extremely vulnerable weaknesses here. And it's dead anyway, so it doesn't really matter. See, at this point, I can just afford to do something like this. And there's very little he can actually do. Because I don't mind if he invades this bottom right now. It doesn't matter to me if he invades that bottom. It's like completely irrelevant to me if he does. As long as I kill this, I win. So I mean, like, he's probably gonna give me that anyways, but like, don't focus on getting. You shouldn't be focused on getting all the territory. Just what you need. I just play here, take these 2 stones, and he's basically got no outs. Sorry. So he's only really got a couple of liberties here. I'm just going to improve the bottom. He's only got a couple of liberties here, so I don't necessarily need to do anything. So you don't Hane this because you don't want to give him the over Hane. Like, with this, you're solidly in the lead, so you just fix everything here. And as long as he doesn't get 2 eyes there, you're fine. He cannot compete with... I mean, this doesn't matter. Because he's only got like 4 liberties here. So whether he lives down there is like irrelevant. Just block him off. And then, like, if he plays here, I'm just not going to respond. Because, like, this has, like, literally 4 liberties. So he can't actually do anything.
Undo requested. Undo granted.
That actually... So, like, you would play here to separate out of these 2 groups, but I'm going to play and just attack this group as well. Plus, it gives me an out down here. You know what, I'll gladly just take the invasion. I will most gladly just take the invasion. I mean, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I'm like that wasn't a good move actually. Now that I think about it, that was not a good move. Should have just played Q. Should definitely have just played Q3. That's why it's not a good move. You can fight the Ko with me, but that's a very, very damaging Ko.
Challenge received.
I think he just killed himself. Might have just killed himself. I'm just going to connect down here, I think. And he can't really compete with me on liberties. I mean, he can try. It's just not going to work. Even if I lose this group, I'm still winning by a lot, so it doesn't matter too much to me. Something like this just, I don't think is going to work. You just don't have enough liberties to fight me. You really don't have the liberties to fight me right now. I'm not going to accept 25Q because that's way below my unfortunately that is quite a bit below my minimum rating to play. The thing is, like, I have a certain range. I actually have a certain range I play for a specific reason. If you're not, like, at least in the upper DDKs, the games aren't really that helpful because unless if you're not in the upper DDKs, like around 11 or 12Q, they tend to end too fast on like very very big game ending moves. That's why I really don't play anyone below the 12K level. Because I feel like at that level, you're much better served by like reviews of your games than by playing someone that's like over 9 stone stronger. I don't need to respond. I'm several liberties ahead. There's like literally nothing here because if he had like a couple more liberties, there would be something here, but he doesn't, so there's nothing here. I mean, if you look at this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 liberties. He has like 4. So I'm not going to respond to that. Actually, I'm going to do this. Um, okay. That's still dead. That doesn't change anything. I'm just going to do this. Now this is actually threatened. You need to play K4 here. Well, playing K4 now is a little late, but you should have played K4 there before. You can probably still make this alive. No, not anymore. Like, should have played L3. And then try to make this alive somehow. Because this is no longer alive now. Don't need to squeeze this way, just go on the bottom. Nothing fancy. Solidify everything, and this is still not alive here. H8 is not a good move, because if you do H8, I would... Yeah, that's fine. Just going to do this. You can always sacrifice these two, because those two aren't very important. It's like this isn't very big. He can just give up those two. So this is the point where you play certain moves. Yeah, see that's a bad move because I'm just gonna come down here now. Like I said, these two stones aren't that big. Like when I double Atari, you can just connect this way. It's like a lesson in like it's really just basically a lesson in like what you can actually sacrifice and what you can't. And this game's going to be a lot of those. This game's going to be a lot of those like trade-offs and stuff. What you can play and what you can't play. This is generally pretty bad for him because it seals him off right here. So the thing is, like, if I do something like this, for instance, he is probably dead. Oh no, he's not. He's not. He's no, he is actually. There's. I don't think there's a way he can live on this. Oh no, he can still do that. Never mind. He's alive. That's because he had. This is Sente. That's why he's actually alive. Yeah, that's Sente. That's why he's actually alive. This is an eye, and there's an eye here. Because I do have to respond like this. No, that's alive. He still has to respond to that, though. Still has to connect. He still has to connect the eye. Otherwise, that will die. It's fine. This is actually dead if he doesn't respond. Oh, there's a good move here, actually. There's actually a really good move here. I left out. I'll show you guys this later, but there is a good move there. That is the that's the good move. That is the good move, and that does force me to play the ko. So that is a very, very good catch by him. That does force me to play the ko. I mean, it's a little late to have impact on the game at this point, because I've basically killed everything else. I don't think I even want to play this ko right now. I'm just going to. I'll just take the loss. But that's a good little Tsuji there that you should learn. Definitely a good little Tsuji there that you should learn. That's the right move. Black cannot actually afford to play this ko. But that was a nice little Tsuji there that he actually
Undo
caught.
requested.
That was a nice little
Granted.
there was a nice little Tsuji there that he actually played. I get the corner, but obviously I lost a lot here. That's fine. Right now, I would say B17 is probably the biggest move right now. Because if you play S15, I'm probably not going to respond. So B17 is probably the biggest move. Yep. It's quite a lot of points. And these are just like closing moves. If the game is actually close, if the game is actually close, like this stuff actually matters. Game's not really close right now though, so it doesn't really matter. But nah, that gives me the Sente on A18, so that's generally not a good move because now you have to fix this, and it gives me Sente, which is very very important, so I can do something like this. I mean, like, in really close games, you really want to fight the Sente on closing moves. You definitely want to fight the Sente on closing moves in, like, really, really close games. Because if you don't, like, if you do stuff like this, like, if the game's, like, 1 point apart, you're probably going to lose the game off of that move. This game's, like, a lot more than one game apart, so it really isn't going to matter for this particular game, but it is something that you want to keep in mind. I would say S15 is the movie. I would say S15 is probably the move he should play right now. Now I would respond because there's actually nothing bigger here. Yep. Because obviously if he takes R14, I have to connect this. So that's going to be a response move. But like if he didn't play this corner move, this is not useful. I actually didn't even have to answer that. Like in a tournament setting, if someone played this, I wouldn't answer it. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Because this is not helpful. That that's pretty irrelevant because this over here is also dead. See, here's the thing. He can't ever kill this. He can't actually ever kill this group. It's Koliv. It's actually Koliv. So if I do this, if I actually do this, he can't ever kill this group. So since this is Koliv, this is dead, everything is dead. Like, he can't Atari me, I can't Atari him. So essentially, like, everything's dead here. This doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go ahead and kill this.
You have won.
Here we go. Let's actually go back and review this game because this is probably the one game I want to play today. I don't have time to unfortunately play another one today. I might come back tonight and play one. Or I might just stream like some Katago games or something. So I feel like this, like you just do this. That's kind of like what's kind of expected. This is not good for you. Like letting me get this, shape-wise, it's not good for black. Yeah, you probably, I would just not attach. I would just do this because that's even, maybe even slightly better for black. So doing this lets me get a small advantage. That's obviously not a good move. Like this is a much better approach. But since you're already kind of flat over here, I would probably just do this. So obviously like that gets me a pretty big advantage. That doesn't make any sense. If you're going to play, like you almost have to Hane here at this point, or at least like take this jump. And this is why this approach isn't good, because it forces you into this situation where I can Hane. Of course, I'm going to extend over. That's also not a very good move. Like, if you answer, you do something like this. I'm going to do this, come up, that's fine. Once again, one jump is better than two jump here. Here, I'm going to go over here. That's fine for the most part. A lot of people would actually just prefer to jump up. That does give you like some stuff down here, but I just decided to like try to get base. This is fine. I actually probably might have just played this if I was black. And then maybe did something like this. Because this group is still not very strong. You kind of solidified the corner territory a little bit. I don't think it's that great for black, but it's better. It's not bad because you solidify the corner. This is not a very big move actually. The territory is kind of flat, and I still have like a D17 type invasion or C17 type of invasion at that. So letting me fly up, just don't really. This is like you can't block over here. You have to like connect up here. And this honestly isn't horrible for black. This honestly isn't horrible because you do get some outer influence. And that's really just the way you have to play this particular set. Letting me get the push here is pretty devastating because it just ruins your entire shape. This is a bad move. Here you just sacrifice these two. Remember, look at how many points these two is. This is maybe like 4 or 5 points, and you get the outside enclosure. So that's actually pretty advantageous for black. Don't force me out this way, because then you just have awful shape on both sides. So you definitely like this is just a bad this is a bad reading of like what shape is better, what shape is not, because all these are forcing moves. You get some influence on the outside. You can always do something like this, forcing me to do this at this point, and then now you have like a lot of development potential here without sacrificing too many points here. These two stones right now are not worth very much. Now that you did this, like these 3 stones are worth a lot more. Just gonna cut here. I feel like this is the same way. I mean, like you either, there's a good chance you don't answer this. If you answer this, you just do this and leave it alone. And then play somewhere else. Or maybe like fix this corner or something. Because doing this like gives you another weak group here to worry about. Of course, like these 3 are kind of like history. You definitely need to do that, and then I'm going to attack these 5 out here. So not only did you give up this entire side, you also made a really weak group here. This you would probably just do this. That's an easy way to fly out. There's really no way for me to capture you. This is not good for me because there's so like if I play the code, there's so many cutting points, and I really wouldn't want to do this. Obviously, this doesn't work because you just block. So I think that, I mean, even this move would actually get you out as well if you're afraid. So this is actually okay. I'm going to take that because I'm going to take this move first because it's Sente. Then this. That's not a good move. You just Hane out at this point. You definitely just Hane out at this point. This is actually okay, and then you still have to Hane out at this point. Like, if you Hane out, there's really no way. There's really no way I can capture you. Like, and try to do this, but like, you know, there's a double Atari down here, so you just definitely Hane out. Like, doing this lets me cover you, and you're dead in here. There's no way for you to actually escape this. And even if you did live in here, like, I get a huge advantage from covering the outside. So it's terminology, I feel like you just read a book about what the terminology actually is. So this is kind of useless at this point. And the thing is, like, there's really not much you can do here. I'm going to just jump out and then, you know, do this because you're not going to beat me here. So here, yeah, I'm just going to make sure that you're enclosed in because there's no way you can beat me. There's like 3 or 4 liberties here, and this group is weak as well. So you're playing in a way where like you're creating a lot of weak groups for yourself, and there's not like a real path for you to actually like, you know, win. If you want to live this group, like you would probably play F17 and see what I do. Most likely you cannot actually live down here. I think this is most likely dead. It's like 90% dead. But like if you really, really wanted to live, like I think F17 would be the play. I would definitely connect, and then maybe you can get something going down here. I highly doubt it, but maybe. This is just expanding my point thing, and then of course I just do this. This is just dead. You might think like some of these responses like this is like weird, but realistically, like I don't need to do anything else. I'm just gonna like play pretty passive responses just to make sure, because I'm not gonna answer that because this is really big out here. Atari, do that. And of course, I'm going to fly down here. The other thing to do is jump out here because this threatens this and also this as well. So if white does this, black does not connect. Black just does this because like I said, you can always sacrifice those two. These two are worth exactly 4 points and they're not worth very much. So that's why I didn't do this, because if I do this, he's just going to sacrifice those two. So I did this specifically so I can come down this way. So this, that's what you should do, I think, because if you do this, I can't connect. So this is how you would actually play this, right? So you would actually do this. And then Atari here, I would do this, and you would just probably do this. And that definitely favors black by a lot. I get the corner, you get all of this. So I actually kind of, like, that's why right after this move, I said I screwed up and I should have just played this. Because this is an obvious weakness right here. And even if you do this, I would actually have to do this, and you could actually get the corner as well if you wanted to play that way instead. So that's that's the Tsuji here. Like basically, like here, cut this side. Of course, like if you play this, I know that this is just like my calculation's better than his. So like, I know which liberties are. I know how many liberties each side has. This is okay. Connect this. This is kind of useless because once again, like you have to consider like all the groups that are involved in the fight, and this only has 4 liberties. So just because like you do this, it doesn't really mean you can actually do anything here. That lets me get this pretty critical move. Now this side is actually threatened. Here I'm just going to fly this. Like the whole purpose of this move is to threaten this group while threatening this cut. So eventually I just cut, right? So here, this is already dead. Doing this doesn't do anything, so you would definitely do this. Because that basically connects this group and this group, and you can save both of those. Playing this move essentially like almost kills this group. And essentially like playing this way just ensures that this group is dead. In this case, you want to play this. I don't know if this would actually work here. It probably wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't actually even work in this extent because of the circumstances. But in other circumstances, you would actually want to play this. Because, you know, the thing is, if you play this, at least you have something like this, right? You sacrifice these, you get this, and maybe you attack this group. At least you have that. But if you just play this, you just let me get the outer covering, and there's really no way out for this. That's also a bad move because this is not under threat. You just play this. I think this is still dead because if you play this, I'm just going to play here. Yeah, this is still dead regardless, but this just basically makes sure this is dead. And those are the main mistakes on this game. So obviously like a bad start on this corner and on this corner, how to not approach that, and a really bad play down here actually cost the entire game. So that's the game for today. I don't have time to play a second one, unfortunately. So I might be back later tonight. I may not be back. I may or may not be back tonight. So yeah, please catch me next time. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. I'll see you guys later. But I'll see you guys later. But one more thing, like if white extends here, you just do this. This is the play to make. Once again, those 2 stones aren't worth much. You really have to realize like what you can sacrifice and what you can't. Because if you refuse to sacrifice these 2 stones, you're going to end up killing this entire group. So what to sacrifice, what not to sacrifice, very important. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys later.